praise that this massive relocation effort has received in the West from some of the most senior people in charge seems absolutely unanimous. It is a course, but barely anyone of those joining in the course has actually spoken to civilians on the ground. And RT has done that. And I'll tell you what, there is a rather strong contrast between what the big names are saying now and the things that we heard when we talked to these Syrians.
I do want to join you, Heiko, in celebrating the fantastic news that we've been able to get these brave people and their families out of Syria after the extraordinary work they've done saving lives.
The video shows them helping the people, but they only help their own. Rebel fighters, their relatives, those close to them. The last thing they cared about is civilians.
Together with Great Britain, but also our Canadian and American friends and partners, we campaigned for the evacuation of the white helmets, and are very grateful now that this was successful, and that some of these people and their families can be accommodated here in Germany.
No one did anything out of humanitarian concerns. It was all about money. They joined the white helmets and others only for money. No one cared about the Syrian people.
And what was the urgency behind this relocation?
Well, right now, the Syrian government troops are making some serious advances in the south of the country, and that's where areas have long been held by the militants that are seeking to overthrow the Assad government. And I can tell you that there have already been attempts, successful attempts, I should say, to move some of these rebels to the country's north, where areas are held by some elements of the Syrian opposition. But now it seems it is turned to relocate the white helmets, although they are being moved abroad. And this is perhaps another sign that these people have long had some political connections with the West. And after all, it is no secret that the group is being kept afloat with cash from Western countries. In some cases, that's taxpayers' money, which means millions of dollars. And the White Helmets have been working very hard on building and maintaining not just a positive image, but an image of heroes. Their networking, their PR efforts to visualize their rescue activities are really impressive. But all of this may backfire if you cheat. All that was used in April by those trying desperately to prove that the Assad government used chemicals against children in Douma was a White Helmets video. But later, the very same people who featured in it insisted that the entire rescue operation after the chemical attack was staged.
We were in the basement and then heard someone outside scream, "Go to hospital." We were scared. They started to pour water on me. I don't know why they did this.
You can easily think of other controversies. For instance, videos with jihadists holding executions, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, men wearing White Helmets emblems showing up. Or videos when people wearing white helmets were waving Al-Qaeda flags. Plus, you can just take a look at some of the things our correspondent saw when he tried to trace the footsteps of the notorious group on the ground in Syria.
Here's what you'll find in one of the rooms of the former White Helmets headquarters here in Bustan al-Qasr, Aleppo. Bomb elements, fins, as well as detonators, hundreds and hundreds of empty bullet casings. This was, by all appearances, a weapons factory, a bomb-making factory. Over here, shrapnel. This is what they put in bombs to cause horrendous casualties. Over there, you'll see an industrial mixer. Again, what they use to mix chemicals and gunpowder.
So clearly there's a lot of inconsistencies here. Have these concerns been ignored by Western governments altogether?
No, not in all cases. You may remember when the White Helmets won an Oscar for a documentary about the things they were doing. That's when their leader was invited to the U.S. for the award ceremony, but then he was banned from entering the country. And that was something that led to a rather awkward situation at a U.S. State Department briefing.
Is the U.S. taxpayer supporting a group whose leader you have banned from coming to the States? I mean, if you have reason to revoke his visa, that he could be a security threat or something like that, why would you continue to support it?
But again, I'm trying to separate this individual from the
All
group.
right, so
which
the
we
guy
believe
is, you're saying that basically he is suspect, but his group is not?
Well, again, I can't speak to the specific allegations against him, Matt. No, I'm sorry. I'm
So it might indeed get complicated when it comes to some elements of the White Helmets group and the security back home.